Proton VPN has been quietly outpacing even the biggest VPN names like ExpressVPN or Surfshark, but is Proton actually better than the competition? I did a lot of digging for this Proton VPN review, so let me show you everything this VPN does right and the things it could do better. And by the way, if you decide to try Proton VPN yourself, just feel free to use the discount code from the description. It's going to make Proton's price much more wallet friendly. Now, let's start with the main question. Is Proton VPN safe? Honestly, from what I found, Proton VPN sets a truly impressive example. For starters, they opted for jurisdiction in Switzerland. That's a place that takes privacy very seriously. More importantly, there's a strict no logs policy in place with independent audits performed to confirm it 3 times already, and they even have the reports published. Plus, everything that passes through Proton servers gets encrypted, either with the military-grade AES 256 or the modern Cha-Cha-20 ciphers. So it depends on the protocol you choose, but essentially these ciphers are equally impossible to crack. Yet, the main advantage of Proton VPN is unmatched transparency. Not only is the company behind the VPN nonprofit, they're also very open about who they are and what they stand for. Not to mention that Proton VPN's source code is publicly available. While that has the potential to lead hackers straight to vulnerabilities, it's actually had the opposite effect. The community is very involved in finding them and suggesting patches to keep Proton as secure as possible. Plus, there's also a private bug bounty program with experts and ethical hackers constantly putting Proton's security to the test. Now, if you're a maximum anonymity seeker, Proton also supports anonymous payments and even has in-app features like Tor network integration or Secure Core, which routes traffic through 2 servers, one of which is provisioned by Proton itself, placed in high security data centers. So as you can probably tell, finding a con in a Proton VPN review of privacy is almost impossible. Almost. Now, the one thing that I'm not a fan of is that Proton operates on regular encrypted disks instead of RAM only. It's the current industry standard, which I like a lot as well, since RAM-based servers can't retain data by design. That said, given the open source nature and the spotless privacy policy of Proton, this doesn't really count as a con, more of my own preference. So overall, I truly have nothing to nitpick in terms of Proton privacy and security. They take it as seriously as it gets. Now, all of the Proton security benefits are the same no matter what Proton plan you get. And the nice thing is there aren't many plans to pick from, unlike other providers with tons of different options and feature limitations. Proton just lets you pick between subscription lengths. But while the value that Proton gives you is great compared to other VPNs on the market, it is on the pricier side, so that's something to consider. Consider. That's a horrible pun, I'm sorry about that. All right, that said, you can get a Proton VPN coupon to lower the price. If you want to do that, just use the link in the description, or you can just scan this QR code. Both of these are going to auto-apply the latest Proton discount deal. Now, once you pick a plan and sign up, it's really easy to download and install the app. I have it on my Mac, my Windows testing PC, my phone, and I even have tried it on a Proton VPN TV setup. So these layouts are pretty similar across different platforms. And sure, while Proton UI can give off basement hacker vibes, the apps are actually really easy to navigate. Plus, I like their server map a lot. It's a standout feature, especially now that NordVPN is apparently getting rid of theirs. Also, if you're somewhere with heavy internet censorship, you can still use this VPN. Check out their stealth protocol and alternative routing features to get around these blocks. But here's what I found really impressive. Proton VPN server infrastructure has more than quadrupled in just about a year. We're talking going from around 3,000 servers in March 2024 to over 13,000 as of July 2025, spread across 122 countries. That's more servers than Surfshark and NordVPN put together. This server variety definitely gives Proton an edge in terms of good connectivity, since it's easier to find a server closer to your location, especially if you live in a more rural area. You can just hit the quick connect button and you're going to be auto connected to the closest and fastest server. Of course, it does help that Proton runs on the latest tunneling protocol, aka WireGuard, and there's also the VPN accelerator feature to ensure a fast and smooth connection. So while I didn't notice a big lag or hiccups in my time using this VPN, I still decided to run a Proton VPN test of speed and compare it to 3 of the best VPN providers, ExpressVPN, NordVPN, and Surfshark. And surprisingly, Proton came in 3rd place, just right after NordVPN and Surfshark. But as you can see, the difference was super minimal, something you can't actually feel when browsing. Just keep in mind that if you're thinking about the Proton VPN free plan, the speeds are going to be way slower, okay? Not only is the free version limited in features and doesn't have the VPN accelerator, it's also almost always super crowded. That's why I only recommend it to people who struggle with censorship and can't afford to buy a VPN subscription. Anyway, while with the free version, you can expect some lag and slow loading pages, I haven't encountered any of these issues with the full Proton VPN app. There's also the NetShield ad blocker to make browsing smoother. By the way, it was upgraded just this spring to detect and block phishing attacks, so I recommend keeping it on. And don't forget to turn on the kill switch as well. In case the VPN connection ever drops, this is going to cut off your internet access on the device and prevent your IP from leaking. Now, okay, moving on. Is Proton VPN good for streaming? Since there are tons of Proton VPN servers available, it does make it much harder for streaming platforms to block specific IPs. However, not every server location supports streaming. So that's a con in my book, though only a small one, since all the main country libraries are supported. Now, the same con applies to torrenting servers as well, but again, there are still a lot to choose from. If you do plan on torrenting, I recommend using the split tunneling feature. With it, I can route the torrent traffic through the VPN while keeping all other browsing activities on my regular connection. Plus, Proton supports port forwarding to improve P2P performance. It's a safer than regular version of port forwarding as well, as Proton routes everything through a firewall. Plus, get this, they're bringing this feature to Mac OS, while previously it was available for Windows and Linux users only. And that's far from the only upcoming improvement. It looks like Proton is going through some serious upgrades this summer. They already improved VPN battery usage on mobiles and introduced some fixes for the VPN accelerator. Personally, from their roadmap, I'm really excited to see the split tunneling coming to Linux and Mac OS. This has been a huge limitation for Apple users, not just with Proton, but with literally every VPN out there. Anyway, there's a whole list of upcoming improvements, from anti-censorship stuff to better Formula One TV streaming support or more features on Android. And what makes this really wholesome is that most of these requests were actually made by the community. So it's not just Proton changing stuff on a whim. So I don't see this every day in my VPN reviews, really. So I have to give it to Proton. They're just, credit where credit is due. Plus, I've seen how hyped Proton users are about all this stuff. So now I'm just double excited. So yeah, we're finishing this Proton VPN review 2025 on a surprisingly positive note. And if you're still wondering whether to get Proton VPN, I think it's definitely worth a try. I mean, it's a company that actually listens to their community and offers one of the fastest speeds on the VPN market. Plus, not only is it one of the best VPN options on the market, it's also very affordable if you get it with the coupon code. But do let me know your thoughts on Proton as well, and I'll see you in the comments. Bye.